There's a bit of a shift going on at Ducati. Those Italian sultans of style have started to realise that maybe a 200 horsepower rocket ship designed to slay racetracks with pro-level riders isn't going to make the best street bike. So they went back to the drawing board a couple of years ago and came up with this gorgeous interpretation of a sports bike. This is the brand new Ducati SuperSport and SuperSport S. Two bikes designed to put the fun back into sports bike riding without the need for seeing 180 mile an hour on the dash. Powered by a version of the 939cc Hypermotard L Twin, the SuperSport pumps out around 113 horsepower at 9,000 RPM and 71 pound-feet of torque at 6.5, 80% of which is available at just 3,000 RPM. The SuperSport uses a chassis based off the Panigale in that it's a monocoque with the engine used as a stress member. So the engineers modified the cylinder heads, the crankcase, the generator cover, the external coils, used 53mm throttle bodies versus the Hyper's 52, and also fitted a new ride-by-wire throttle system developed in-house with the fuel injection duties moved from Magneti Marelli to Continental. The gearbox also came in for a once-over, considering it's been fitted with the Ducati quickshift system as standard on the S model and an accessory on the base SuperSport. That S model also comes with 48mm gold Öhlins forks and an Öhlins shock, while a standard machine gets 43mm Marzocchi legs and a Sachs monoshock out back, although both machines get similar electronics with 3 riding modes along with switchable traction control and ABS. And what better way to find out just what this new SuperSport machine is all about than taking him for a thrash around the Monte Blanco circuit in Spain, as well as the hills surrounding the circuit.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Seville in Spain. We're at the Monte Blanco circuit here, and this is one of the well-known tracks here in Spain. We'll start with the S model. So the S was what we're riding on the track today. Now the S is characterized essentially by the red wheels, sort of the pearl white, sort of mattish kind of paint scheme. You also get Ducati quick shift standard with the S, and you also get a seat cowl as well, as a standard model doesn't have that. Now, Ducati's sort of had a bit of a change in philosophy, I guess, with these kind of bikes. This is the sort of bike that they're aiming at the guy who'll go out there and maybe do 1 or 2 track days a year, but for the most part will be out there riding with his buddies, going out doing canyons or whatever, going down the shops and all the normal stuff that you do when you buy a motorcycle. And maybe your Panigale is a little bit too extreme these days. You know, when you're talking, 190 odd horsepower, super bikes don't make the best bikes to go down the road and get a bowl of milk on. But we spent the day, half the day on this one, which the Öhlins forks are also the standard fare with these. You get Marzocchis on the base model, and you also get a Sachs rear shock. But this is Öhlins through and through, so it's a real Ducati sports bike. It's still, it's not a sport tourer, it's definitely a sports bike, but yeah, we had a great time on this bike. The engine's derived from the Hypermotard. It has been changed fairly significantly. 113 horsepower or so on tap, which is more than enough to keep you happy around a circuit like this. We had AMA Pro races and all manner of skills, I guess you'd call it, with this track day today, and we all got off having a great laugh. Really good fun bike to ride. Very good under braking as well. It comes with Brembo M 4.32 calipers, so you get plenty of braking power as well. It has obviously comes with ABS and traction control and things like that. The traction control maps are pretty good. You want to dial it back a little bit when you really get into it, because it does come in quite early when you're in sort of level 3 or something like that. But the best thing is, like, the bike gives you this kind of confidence when you're riding it. It's not intimidating to ride. Come off it with a great smile on your face, 235 or so, 240k an hour down that front straight. So the thing moves, it gets up and boogies. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. But once we moved over to the standard bike, and this is where I think the majority of the riding with, it's nice to have these kinds of bikes. Both of them are brilliant bikes, and I'll say right now that I'll probably take this just because I think it looks better. But on the road, this is where the majority of the riding is going to be done. We covered 130 odd Ks with this model, with the red one this afternoon, and I really enjoyed it. Very, very comfortable, and that basically comes down to the height of those bars and the shape of that seat too. And if you ever look at the seat itself, it's got a real curvature on the seat. Now, normally, most sports bikes, they either, straight up and down kind of a seat. And after a while, with other bikes as well, but after a while, you tend to get a bit of a sore backside. because this seat's a little bit curved up and the bars are a bit higher, you don't sit on basically the bones of your ass. You sort of sit a little bit further forward. And that alleviates so much of the stress that goes through your body. And we did all kinds of pretty average roads and some absolutely marvelous roads, I've got to say. And the bike felt fantastic. It was a really easy bike to ride, very comfortable. Gearbox was good, had plenty of power, and I felt great on the bike. I didn't want the ride to end. It was a nice, easy, cruisy bike to ride, and it looks fantastic as well. I mean, I think it looks better in the metal than it does in the photos. Ducati's, one of the design things that Ducati made, one of the design points that they had with this bike was they didn't want to have any visible screws or anything on the fairing. And when you look at it, it's a very clean design. It looks like liquid. Everything just matches and it all goes together really well. It shows off a lot of the engine as well. They didn't want to have, I suppose, a massive fairing covering up every last bit of the engine. It's got a nice little Stumpy exhaust, and when you look at the Akrapovic exhaust as well, pretty cool, man. Like the noise that you get out of that is pretty amazing, and I think these things are going to be a real hit. I think they're probably going to sell more than they actually bargained for, because it's going to be that perfect mix between a sports bike and a naked bike and a sport touring bike, really. So I think Ducati's onto a bit of a winner here. They've done a real good job.